got the core, I've got the timeline.
Yeah, I have both. But we're at fractions, telling time, money. So I went ahead and page marked the core content. But we've covered, I mean, we've taught a lot of this with the base 10 blocks, the number lines.
The number grids.
The number grids, right. And then we had 211, which also standard units of length, measurement, half-inch, centimeters. We've gotten that. The two things, and then there was 221, which was describe, define, and give examples, real-world mathematic problems, like the standard measurement, which is what we did with those little animal cards. But the two I don't think we've really hit yet are 113 and 216.
All right.
Ready? Start
Well,
plugging.
the eye cans are right here.
Right? Ready? Tell me.
All right.
So for 9,
We're starting at 9.6.
9.6.
9.6, yeah.
Okay. I can.
It's right here in the learner target. I can compare fractions, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4.
Here on the next page, so I put that we would talk
Yes.
about numerator denominator.
Oh,
and then
this
the
is
next stage is be
perfect.
Yes.
comparing fractions.
Yes.
Is exactly
Right.
what we could use to assess them also. So I think we should do journal page 188
188 is
as
whole group.
As a whole, and they could use their strips,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay.
So in the
would use
strips
these.
though, we're
Yeah.
going to use fraction strips. So I'll write fraction strips
And I think this is perfect to do it as
with
a whole.
journal page 188. Correct? 188.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we would also compare the fractions, which I already have up in here, which is the next part.
And they
which
need
is
to
the
keep
comparing
those
down.
fraction strips. They're used again.
I'll put keep fraction strips.
They're used.
All right, now let's
Put 'em in a
This is
baggie.
when we would break out, and we could. This is when we would break into our differentiation. Now, I think this fraction match scheme would be good for our lower kids.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
that
easy.
don't
Yeah,
right.
that have a hard time with that. So I think we could print this off
One.
for group 4.
I meant
3, 4.
I meant 4.
I know what you meant.
And you know
The
what they
other
could do too is they could color it and like put it on construction paper or something just to make match it.
Well,
up.
this one we could, because this is group 3 and 4. We work within a small group, so this one we could say, okay, so and so, which is more, 1 or 1/2, and then they would see that,
Yeah,
and then
right.
they could have them find 1.
So we
and
could also
1/2.
yeah okay.
What
I'll
about
leave
on
it
that
off.
So
card?
should
about-
we laminate it and just use it as one group? Use it as a group.
No, I'm gonna give it to
I
them
would
to
let 'em
cut
take
out
it
the
cut
ends.
out.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
And
okay,
that
so I-
this whole fraction, we need to talk about how that is equal
Equal
to
to
a whole,
1, just
a whole
1.
number. Yeah.
All right, let me print off our math master pages while I'm.
Yeah, 'cause
Jenny,
that would
look
be
at,
like-
look at that page before. Remember where you had those circles, and you were like, oh, but it's like 12 or whatever. We could do the same thing, print those out, and make them for the higher group.
Okay,
We would have to color them.
math
They're,
master.
we could do
they're,
that.
they're blank.
What were my math master pages that we needed?
180. Oh, Math
272.
Master's 272.
What was before that? That was a different one.
No,
That was
the
no.
strips are on 270, but we already have strips, so you don't
So
have
we
to do
need the
those.
strips. Okay.
we can just use these. I like these.
I have 267. That was for the boxes.
oh yeah,
Or the
we
folded
need that
cup.
one. Okay.
Okay, it's coming out of
So
the
Oh,
this
right.
is 9-7, and this is
That
Is
was
this for
where they-
That's group 1. No, I mean,
no.
No,
Group-
Is
4.
this-
I did the
I
same
did that
thing.
Is this group 3 and 4 or just 4?
I think that could be group 3 and 4.
4 both.
Okay.
together.
3 and 4 because
Right.
our 3s need that as well.
Yeah.
Because I say it would be good reinforcement for them.
So this will be great for our lower kids.
And it's
Um,
already this. We already know it's not.
Here are fraction circles. What do you want me to do with this, Mrs. Harris?
I don't know. Maybe we could print those
Look,
out,
it goes even.
and we could shade them in,
This is
and
for
copy them?
9-7.
just like we can make our own version of this,
For our higher guys.
right?
Uh-huh.
We could make up a
Or
work.
we could even just make up the cards and have them do the shading.
Group 1 math master page 224.
And I would not do
224.
group 2 with that, just group
No.
1.
Finding
group 1.
equivalent fractions.
Should I take this and put group 1 on?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please. And I'll put.
And is this 9-9?
No,
It says
9-8.
9-8.
I
It's
put
9-8.
page 782, teacher manual, just so that we have that as a
Oh.
visual,
Right,
because we might get confused.
right.
Okay, that's group 1. I think that will take them a little while too.
I think it will too.
Okay, group 2. All right, let me
Could
see what I
we-
have here for equivalent fractions.
Well, for
Two.
one of
I'm
these,
gonna
we
have
could
something
write
in
the
my
fractions
file.
on there, and then have them just compare if the fractions are already written on there. Jenny,
Hmm?
this one,
Sorry.
if for one of the groups, if we wrote the fractions on there, and then they had to compare them, we could take an extra one and write the fractions on there.
What do you mean? I think
Like
For
we would-
group three,
yeah,
we would write.
we would divide them.
that is making equivalent fractions right there.
I know, this is my fraction file. That's why I said I bet I have stuff that we can use for the other groups.
That would be perfect.